GamerCast Network.
Hey. All right. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
And welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show bonus Shadowrun coverage. For this little mini-cast, we're going to bring you some interviews with Michael Wolf and Mitch Gitelman about the upcoming Xbox 360 and PC game Shadowrun. Now, for those of you who don't know what Shadowrun is, it started as a pen and paper RPG in the late 1980s, early 1990s. It's kind of a cyberpunk, urban fantasy role-playing game. It had several video game incarnations on the Super Nintendo and Genesis game consoles. And the upcoming release is a first-person shooter, which is kind of like Counter-Strike, but it adds in all the magical and technical abilities from the role-playing game. Up first is a little segment we recorded last week with Michael Wolf, who is the PR manager for Games for Windows from Microsoft. Sitting in on this session was me, Chad, Bob, Keith, Ivan, and Xbox Community Manager, Chris Paladino.
I have to get in my one dig to keep my PC cred. I hope Shadowrun's awesome because PC gamers aren't going to give a crap about Halo 2. I had to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
I last night got the beta invite to Shadowrun, and I played it for a little while today. Before, when Ivan was talking about it on the show with Vicious, they were saying that it's a very overwhelming game in terms of all of the options you have, and I truly find it to be overwhelming. Like, I was just going through the first tutorial where they have the teleporting and the glider stuff, and I was like, wow, this is good enough in itself. But then I was like, I still have 5 more tutorials to go through with the resurrections, with the with the tree of life and all the other stuff, the elf katanas and all that kind of crazy stuff.
I think it's going to be really interesting to sort of see how people's play methodology changes over time, because I found myself like kind of there's certain powers that everybody sort of goes to first because they're easy to get, like teleport and glide. You get that, you know what that is. But then as you play more and you start experimenting with some of the other things, and suddenly you're using smoke, and you're using gust, and you're using like all these other things that aren't as commonly used, and you're discovering how those can actually be more effective than things you're used to. So your play style changes as you go through.
One note I've been seeing here is maybe there's too many options. Maybe this game won't find a big enough fan base because it is so overwhelming. It takes a lot of effort to understand all the mechanics and different strategies you can, whereas something like Counter-Strike or an Unreal Tournament you can just jump right into and start playing.
Which is so funny, because if we would have not included as many features and things you can do, we would have gotten slammed.
And I think, in reality, once you start playing it, you kind of find your role, almost like classes in WoW. I'm a tank, I'm a healer, I'm a...
I think it's a good change of pace, because most first-person shooters, they brag about their diversity of the different kinds of weapons they have. There's 42 different machine guns you can pick from. Well, great, but all they do is shoot bullets at things. There's a lot more in-depth to Shadowrun, and to me it was still a little overwhelming. And like I said, though, when we talked about it, I didn't give it much of a chance. I haven't put much time into it, so I may love it, but there's not a lot of comparable games as far as the stuff it does.
The thing is, there hasn't been that much of a change in first-person shooters for so many years that this thing could bring some change to first-person shooters.
Well, it's funny because I've heard Mitch Gitelman, the studio manager, do this pitch a bunch of times, and one of the things that he says is that this game adds a lot more verbs to a first-person shooter. Usually what you do is you run, you jump, you shoot, you throw a grenade.
You die, you respawn, you do it all.
In this one, you can do all that, but you can also teleport, and you can turn to smoke, and there's just so much more to do.
After playing Shadowrun for a while, it's hard to go to other first-person shooters because you run straight at a wall, you're all set to go, you hit the right bumper, and smack right into the wall. You don't, because you're used to just going through it and killing whoever you need to kill.
I just hope it gets out there enough, because people might just, boot it up the first time, try a little bit, and say, oh my god, and then just never come back to it.
Get confused and cry.
The first thing I thought of is with Xbox 360, most if not all games that come out have a demo available. And the first thing I thought of when I played Shadowrun, the beta, is, you know what, if I downloaded the demo and played it, I probably wouldn't buy this game because it's a little too intimidating and I jumped right in and played, and I'm like, this is too overwhelming. There's too much to do. There's too much stuff.
To kind of play devil's advocate, are you saying that you would rather not have a demo?
No. The demo's a good thing, but my point is someone like me is going to download this demo and say, this is too much. I don't want to buy this game.
It takes time. I don't think a demo would be enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Having played a lot of games that are kind of like it, but this adds so much more to it, I can see something there, whereas a demo probably would work okay for me, but for someone who just wants to jump in and play, they might not give this game enough time.
I download the demo, I try and give it a chance. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's too much to do. I don't like it. I'm not going to buy it. Chad was hoping people would give it a chance, and there's people like me who don't give it a chance because it's too overwhelming at first.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you.
I have no response to any of that.
Microsoft does not comment on bad Chicago songs.
A couple days ago, some hosts from other shows in the GamerCast Network had an opportunity to sit down with Mitch Gitelman, who is the studio manager for FASA Studios. They are the ones developing Shadowrun. Now, unfortunately, because of the forces of the universe aligning against us, bad internet telephony software, I'm not going to mention any names, and all around a big piece of horrible luck, which can only make me taste some shattered dream pie, we lost about half of the interview. Again, I'm not going to mention any names of any internet telephony software, which should not be mentioned. Sitting in on the interview was me, Chad, Ivan from the video game show, JVB from Podtacular, Vicious from UncleGamer Radio, and Godfrey from Gamertag Radio. Now, on the next episode of the video game show, coming out this Monday, we'll fill you in on some of the lost content from the first part of the interview. Also, I urge our listeners to go listen to upcoming episodes of Gamertag Radio, UncleGamer Radio, and Podtacular, where they're going to be talking about some of that lost content from this interview as well. Now, for the interview.
I know a lot of people have been wondering about the price of the game. A lot of people have been saying that because it's missing a lot of features, that this game shouldn't be a $60 game.
What features is it missing?
I don't know. I'm just saying, when I've been reading from forums and stuff, people have been saying that no single player or only strictly multiplayer game online and stuff like that. I just want to know what's your comments about.
Here's my patented FASA response. I don't know what features they're talking about missing within this genre, which is the same genre as Battlefield, Counter-Strike, Star Wars Battlefront, etc. We got all the features they got, and we'll be at prices comparable to them. I don't see what the brouhaha is about. This game isn't special that way. There's an established genre. We're another game in that genre. That's better than a no comment, man. Come on.
Yeah, it is better.
All right. What do you think is the cause of all that brouhaha? Basically, them standing up and saying we shouldn't be paying full price for this multiplayer-only game when there are ones already out there.
People have been crapping on Shadowrun since it was first announced. That's the truth. And there are people out there that want us desperately to fail. It's just true. And there are people that just don't believe in the game, and no matter what we say about it, and no matter what people say about it, I played it and it's cool, they keep trying to crap on it. And I remember one post, I don't remember where it was, one guy said, yeah, keep trying to find something wrong with this game, guys. You're working really hard to find something wrong with it. It seems like it's a new hobby for people to try and find something wrong with Shadowrun.
But the game is fun, though, man. I don't see a problem with it.
Godfrey, you're like my favorite interviewer right now.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
I'm going to give some praise too. I'm going to give you some praise too because I just got in the beta a couple of days ago and I was playing it. I just did the first tutorial and I was very impressed with everything I saw in terms of the teleporting and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was a hardcore Counter-Strike guy for a lot of years, and just seeing the things you added to it in terms of just basically the teleporting and the gliding, I was like, wow, this is
just that.
A lot of depth.
There's a lot more stuff.
Then there's resurrecting. And then the tree of life, and then the whole idea of the guy who resurrected you. If he dies, you die. That all blew me away. In terms of just and I was thinking, wow, this adds so much more depth of strategy. Because when you play levels that have one choke point, there's no longer one choke point because you can go walk through walls.
Hells yeah.
Now, Mitch, as your least favorite interviewer right now, just to kind of touch back on what you're.
And God forbid we should allow somebody to say something nice about the game without countering it.
No. I know. This isn't a bad thing about the game. This is kind of going back to what you're saying about just people wanting to see Shadowrun fail. Yeah, just like Too Human at E3, Dennis Dyack felt that it was shown way too early, and that's why it got a lot of negative press. Do you feel that also hurt Shadowrun by being shown?
Oh yeah, and Shane Kim has come out. I think it was on GammaSutra.com. He actually said, "Yeah, we showed Shadowrun too early." We were excited about the Live Anywhere vision, right? Mm-hmm. We were excited because we had at the show on the showroom floor cross-platform mouse keyboard versus controller working and fair and fun. And so we thought, erroneously, that people would see how cool that is, see how cool the gameplay was, and how already well balanced it was, and they could look past the fact that it was in early development. Not the way the world works.
Oh, I completely agree, because that was the impression that I got, once again, being your least favorite interviewer right now, is when I saw Shadowrun at E3, I go, this game looks really bad. Now, I will also say that when I did get into the beta, I was like, wow, this is a major improvement, and this game looks great, and it's going in the right direction.
I thought that what would happen was people would actually try the game, rather than just look at it and judge it. I thought they would actually put their hands on it. Now, hey, that's just the way of things. If you know E3, and I've been going to E3 since it was created, that's not true. But, I had my little wish list thing, and, Shane had his wish, that people would see it the way we did. But it wasn't to be, Yeah, and so I got thrown on the defensive for a year and a half. or a year. Thrown on the defensive for the year. But you know what? And I'm serious about this. That which does not kill us makes us stronger, because I went back to the team. We had a big team meeting, and by that time there were 100 people on the team. And I stood up there in front of them and I said, look, we got kicked in the nuts, okay? Now, the question is, what do we do about it? And the answer is, we fix it. We don't run around like chickens with our heads cut off, and we don't go, woe is me. We act like professionals. We figure out what's wrong, and we fix it. And it was early, and we were able to do it. And within 3 months, we went to another gaming show and showed it, and everybody was like, oh my God, how did you turn this around in 3 months? And the answer is, nights, weekends, holidays. That's the answer. And a team that never, ever, ever gives up and never backs down from freaking anything. These guys are pros. There is nothing like having an enemy, because when you have something to fight against, you fight much harder. And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I can tell you it's the truth every time.
So what's next, man? After Shadowrun, are we ever gonna see Crimson Skies on the 360? That's like one of my favorite games.
I sure hope so, but I'll give you that. Well, we have nothing to announce at this time. Like I said before, my answer to a previous question, we are hardcore focused on shipping Shadowrun, and we sit back. What we're going to do is we're going to take a damn vacation. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to Vegas, right?
All right.
I got a cabana, right? And I got a hot wife, and I'm going to Vegas, right? That's what I'm doing. And then while we're in Vegas, a core group of us will likely drunkenly sit down, hopefully at a strip club, and figure it out.
All right.
Yeah. No, I take it back, not the strip club thing. Because I take it back, and I want to tell you why, because I'm proud of this. FASA's one of the most diverse game studios probably in the entire world. We have, at our peak, we had over 13% women in the studio. And I learned a long time ago, you don't just get business done at strip clubs. You actually do it like real bars. All right. And that wasn't me just covering my ass. That's the truth.
Yeah, I still play that game, man. I
have a very special place in my heart for Crimson, because when I was first hired by FASA 10 years ago, first assignment was to design Crimson. We designed it, but we shelved it for a while. And finally, when we got bought by Microsoft, we put it out. But I've got a very special place in my heart for that game.
Yeah, it was certainly a big deal when it was finally released. And one of the first Xbox Live titles that I truly enjoyed.
That's really nice to hear.
Oh, I guess I should jump in and say that I didn't like it to balance it all out, right?
Well, I'll throw in and say I was a big fan of FAFSA all through the Mech Warrior series and all that kind of stuff. I love those games at PC.
Yeah, and I loved Mech Commander also. I worked really hard on that one. And that didn't have the size audience of those other games, but it was good to make.
Before we forget, when exactly is Shadowrun expected to be released?
We haven't announced an exact date, but in June. It's almost there.
Okay.
All right.
Is there going to be a playable demo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be a playable demo. I don't have the release date on the demo yet, but yeah, we've already almost got the demo to where we want it in terms of shipping and stuff. We just haven't tested the demo yet because we're testing the game.
Is it going to be the same as the beta, or is it going to be different?
Haven't announced that yet.
Okay.
No, I can tell you. It will be It will be different than the beta.
Okay.
It will be different than the beta.
So that means the beta will be closing soon then, right?
No, we're going to keep that open for a while. I want to log some more data and stuff like that. That data from the beta will be usable for quite a while. It can inform decisions and stuff. So no, we'll leave that open.
Okay.
Sweet.
So wait, here's a big question: are you going to ship before or after the Halo 3 beta ends? Because Halo 3 guys, they'll be jonesing for a fix after the Halo 3 beta ends. That's June.
Isn't that a beautiful story? Yeah. Halo 3 beta ends, and well, what do you know? There's Shadowrun sitting there waiting, like, well, I've had my thing back. Perhaps you would like some Courvoisier with that. So we haven't announced the exact timing, but you're not smoking crack with what you're saying. How's that?
Not much, man, but thanks for taking your time and letting us interview you, man. It was really cool, and no matter how hard the question is, man, you always come back and answer it.
Yes, I do. The thing is, I like talking to people that like playing games. You know what I mean? And we talk in FASA every day. So you guys, it's just like talking to another team member as far as I'm concerned, and I treat you exactly like I treat the people I work with.
Now, I'm definitely going to support this game, though, man. It's totally different than other first-person shooters right now. So
it does bring a lot to the first-person genre that hasn't been there for a while. Like everything, Counter-Strike came out, and then it kind of like stagnated for a while.
Yeah, you know what's missing from the first-person genre for me is like excitement. Newness. Like the first date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like you're dating the same girl. She's just dressed in different clothing over and over again. It's like, it's in World War II now. Fantastic. Whatever. It's like I would like a fresh date, please.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this is definitely a fresh date for the first-person genre.
Yeah, like you look at you look at a game like Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay.
Yeah,
I mean that was a first-person game, but there was so many different elements to it.
That was a surprisingly good game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get that licensed movie game, and frankly, I'm not a big fan of Vin Diesel or whatever, but that game was tight.
Yes, and it was because they added new elements to the first-person genre.
Yeah. Hey, Mitch, any games you playing lately? When you're home taking a break, any games you've been trying out for the 360 or any console?
My kids dominate the 360s, so I play mostly PC.
Okay.
I mean, if you ask me what am I playing on the 360 right now, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But
the retail or the Xbox Live Arcade game?
No, the retail. But on PC, I went kind of you could call it old school, but I went back to Neverwinter Nights, the original.
Oh yeah.
Right. And there was some good stuff there. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm playing the Diamond version with all of the modules that you could download for pay. I want to see those. Those excite me. I like the idea of user-created content a lot. I'm a huge fan of that.
Any announcements for Shadowrun having user-created content, tool sets, and those kind of things?
Yeah, you know me, man. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of new information. No. Nothing. I got nothing for you, man.
Okay. Yeah, just checking.
He slipped or something,
We were almost there.
Yeah, I'm not known for my slipping, but yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm playing at home right now, and loving it.
Cool.
Okay, very cool.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll check you later.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
man.
All right, take care.
Take care,
Take
man.
it easy.
And there you go. Everyone from the GamerCast Network would like to give Michael Wolf and Mitch Gitelman a big ham sandwich. Thanks for the interviews, guys. I would personally like to give big piece of shattered dream pie to that internet telephony software which should not be mentioned. You guys can wash that down with a big glass of utter disappointment. There you go, guys. Thanks for listening, and good night.